What is what? Because then now we're recording. Yeah. The interwebs. Because then if somebody's gone, then they get to listen to this wonderful.
They can hear us?
Yeah.
So they can hear us asking.
Yep. They can hear us talking about this right now.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, so this is where we ended up yesterday. We shrunk it down a little bit so that we could actually fit it into. Actually, I'm gonna. Oh, okay. I guess I'm not. I thought it was all in one. Okay. So, first thing that if we're graphing a parabola, and today we are going to be graphing parabolas. Okay. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to figure out which way it opens. Okay. What are the two things that we look at to tell us which way it opens? What's negative or positive? On
The X or Y.
on.
The equation.
Okay, let's start again. Let's go for the second one first. What's the other?
X squared or Y squared.
Okay, so if it's x squared or y squared, so that's going to determine which way it opens. X squared is going to be up and down. Y squared is going to be left and right. And then what's the second one? Now let's go back to coefficient. The coefficient of what?
Non-squared value.
Of the non-squared variable. Yes. Okay? Yeah, it's up there. Yeah, it's up there. Okay? So the direction of opening is determined by two things. Which variable is squared and the coefficient of the non-squared variable. Okay? Then, next thing we do is we find the vertex. Okay? Remembering that our equation is either x minus h quantity squared equals 4p times y minus k, or y minus k quantity squared equals 4p times x minus h. Okay? So then h is attached to the x, y, or k is attached to the y, and we think oppositely on both of those because they're both inside a set of parentheses. Okay? Third step is we need to find that p value. Okay? 4p is the number in front of the non-squared variable, or the coefficient of the non-squared variable, and p is the distance from the vertex to the focus and from the vertex to the directrix. 4p is also the width of the parabola through the focus, and then we need to find our axis of symmetry. Okay? All right, let's put all of that to work today, and let's graph this one. Y squared equals 20x. Okay? So my first question is, which direction does this parabola open? I've heard up and I've heard right. Now I've heard a lot more rights than ups. Because it's y squared, so that means it's left and right. It's positive, so that means it's right. Okay? All right, so it's going to open to the right. Okay? Where is the vertex? It's at the origin, because there's nothing attached to the x and there's nothing attached to the y. So starts at the origin. Okay. Hold off on that one for a second. First, we got to find what p is, right? Okay. So 4p is how much? 4p is 20, so p is 5. So that means that the distance from the vertex, which we have, to the directrix is 5, and the distance from the vertex, which we have, to the focus is 5. Since this parabola opens to the right, my focus is going to be to the right. So I go right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that is my focus right there, which would be at the point 5, 0. I can also find the directrix by going 5 to the left. Which means that my directrix is at vertical lines are x equals. And so this one would be x equals -5. The width of my parabola through the focus is going to be that 4p value. So that's 20. Which means I'm going to go 10 in each direction from the focus. So I'm going to go 10 up from the focus, and I'm going to go 10 down from the focus. That now allows me to draw in my parabola. Oops, too far. The axis of symmetry, remember, is the line that goes through the focus and the vertex. So that line is, what color should we use? Let's use purple. So that line is y equals 0. Questions on that? Okay. What I would like you to do now is I would like you to graph me this parabola. X squared with a positive coefficient, that's an up open. Vertex I get at -2, -3. (16) is 4p. So p is 4. So that tells me I have to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There is my focus. That's going to be at the point -2, 1. Down 4 is going to be my directrix. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is the line y equal, tap the brakes, that's the wrong color. That is the line y equals -7. The width is 16 because that's what 4p is, which means I go 8 to the left and 8 to the right through my focus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Puts me over there. that allows me to draw it in. Axis of symmetry we said was going to be purple. That is the line x equals -2. Questions on that one? %100% for everybody? Okay. Try that one. Well, we're getting those divider things now, so you might not even have to. All right, so let's see. We've got a y squared with a negative coefficient. That's going to be a left open. Vertex is going to be at +2, -1. For P is going to be 6, so P is going to be 3/2, which means my focus is going to be 1.5 to the left of my vertex, which puts it right there. That focus is going to be at 1.5, -1, or excuse me, not 1.5, just 1/2, -1. My directrix is going to be 1.5 to the right, which is going to be right there. That is the line x equals, so 1.5, that'd be 3.5, so we'll call that 7/2. The width of my parabola through the focus is 6, so I'm going to go up 3 and 3 and down 3, 1, 2, and 3. That's going to allow me to draw it. That's going to allow me to have an axis of symmetry of y equals -1. Ben, did you nail it? The way you're taking up, standing up, taking a bow? Oh, okay. It shouldn't be straight. It's a curve. Hold on. Actual question. Oh, I like fractions so much more than decimals, but I would probably still accept it if you would 3.5 there. Yeah, 0.5. The only thing that I don't like about decimals in there is in the focus, you might lose the decimal point in, you might not be able to see it. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's the only difference. I get it. You're scared of fractions.
Yeah.
Good? Alright, so now that we've mastered this, we're going to change everything up, and we're going to go backwards. Okay? Just when you think you have the answers, I go and I change the question. Okay? So, that's what our answers are going to look like. Well, let's do the first one together.
No, don't help us.
Okay?
Listen to us and try to do
Alright?
ourselves. Yeah. I learned best by messing up. Me too.
So, what I do, just because I've done this more than you have, okay, what I do is I just draw myself a quick little sketch of what's going on. So we have the vertex here at the origin. We have the focus here to the left of the vertex. So which way does this one open? It opens left because the focus is left. So what is a left opening of those two? Which one is a left opening? Of those two, why? Top or bottom? Bottom one with what extra condition? Negative 4p. So this is going to look like y minus k, quantity squared, equals negative 4p times x minus h. That's what it's going to look like. Okay? Because my vertex is at the origin, that's h and that's k. Because there is a distance here of 5, that's going to be my p-value. So when it's all said and done, y minus 0 is just y squared. 4 times 5 is 20, so this is negative 20. X minus 0 is just x. So I can leave it just like that. This little sketch right over here may just look like 3 letters and 1 number, but it's extremely important to everything. Okay? Now, try that one. So, we've got a vertex. If I do a quick sketch, we got a vertex over down here. We've got a directrix down here even more. Okay? So this tells me which way is it going to open? Up. Yep. So that is an x minus h quantity squared equals positive 4p times y minus k. This distance here is p. And how much is that distance? No.
3.
It's 3. Okay. This is h. This is k. So my equation of this parabola is x minus 2 quantity squared equals 12 times the quantity y plus 3. Questions on that one? Yesterday you should have received a blue homework packet for the conic sections unit. As of right now, you are able to do the front side and the back side of the first 2 pages. Okay? Front and back of the first 2 sheets.